What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Roulette Players. I am going to show you how to play the X marks the spot strategy. The Baccarat players on my channel know about my X marks the spot strategy. So if you're still confused after watching this video, feel free to drop a comment below, and either me or one of my subscribers will answer any questions you have about X marks the spot. So fellow Baccarat players, if you see a roulette player that needs help with the X marks the spot, go ahead and point them in the right direction. Let's get started. Here is how the X marks the spot works. You are gonna bet that when you walk up to a roulette table, an X pattern, as you see over here, will not form exactly when you get to the table and place your bets. Now, this can be for red or black, odd or even, or high and low. Anything on the table that is close to an even money bet will work. And we are also going to cover the green monster. We'll get to that in just a minute. So you walk up to a roulette table, and let's say we're betting on red or black. You're going to take one free spin and see what shows up. Let's say your free spin is a red. Basically, what you're going to do now is bet against the X forming. Okay, so your betting spots are over here, bottom left, in the middle, top right, and bottom right. And since your first free spin was a red, you're going to bet against red and say that an X will not form, just like this. Now, you're going to play the X marks the spot in two sequences. So this is sequence 1, this is sequence 2. You will mark your outcomes starting from here, going down like this, okay? Back to the table. Your first free spin was red, so your first betting spot would be bottom left corner right over here. So you're going to take another free spin, and let's say this comes red, it doesn't really matter. You are now ready to place your bet on the bottom left corner, and you are going to play the opposite. So we would be betting on black. We place a bet on black and we win. As you can see, the X pattern was broken right away as we win on our first bet. Once you hit on the X marks the spot, go ahead and restart. Let's try it again, but this time, let's say we don't hit as early and are forced to play both sequences 1 and 2. So we start with a free spin, no bet, and let's say the outcome is black. We now know that we are gonna bet red on all of our betting spots. Here, 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 and here. These will all be bets placed on red, going against the X pattern, okay? So we take one more free spin over here. It doesn't matter whether this is red or black, and now we are ready to place our bet. Since our free spin was a black, again, we are going against it, so we will place a bet on red, bottom left corner. And let's say black shows up. We lose. What do we do now? Well, we can start sequence number 2. Again, take a free spin on sequence 2. Let's say red shows up. Take another free spin over here. You are now ready to bet again, bottom left corner. And since our free spin for sequence 2 was red, we are going to bet against red and go with black. We place a bet and we lose. What happens now? Well, we would go over to the next column, starting from here, back to sequence 1. So far we have 2 losses, both on the bottom left corners. Since we are at the top here on column 2, would we bet this spin or skip it? We would skip it because we are going for the X pattern. So there's no need to place a bet here on this spin. So we take a free spin and we are now ready to bet at our middle position here. Again, what was our free spin? As you could see, it was black. We are going against it. So we are going to place another bet on red right over here. We place a bet and we win. Now, if you are playing both sequences 1 and 2, after a hit, do not restart just yet. Because if you are playing sequences 1 and 2, you have to hit on both sequences or complete them. Okay, so since we hit on sequence 1 in the middle here, we are gonna stop playing sequence 1, but continue to record the outcomes when they appear as we continue playing sequence 2 until we hit. Make sense? So let's keep going. We would not bet over here. We would just record the outcome. Let's say a red showed up. This is another free spin because we are betting against the X pattern. So this is a no bet for us. So the free spin comes, let's say black. We are now ready to bet again on sequence 2. Take a look here. Our free spin was red, so we are going against red. We would place another bet on black in the middle. The spin is red. We lose. What happens now? Well, you would continue recording the outcomes until you get to your next bet. Where is our next bet? Well, since we have hit on sequence 1, we are not playing it, obviously. So our next bet would be top right corner on sequence 2. So we are going to continue recording the outcomes until we get to this top right corner of sequence 2. So we are checking out the roulette table, and the next outcome is red, followed by another red, black, and red. We are now at our next bet on sequence 2. Again, to remind ourselves what we are betting, we look at our first free spin. It is a red, so we are betting against it. This top right corner bet would also be black. So we place a bet. Can we finally hit on sequence 2? Yes, we do. We got a hit on sequence 2, and we got a hit earlier on sequence 1, so we can go ahead and clear the outcomes and restart with the X marks the spot. Let's talk about how we would place our bets playing the X marks the spot. I like to use bet spreads. There is a detailed explanation on bet spreads on my channel if you want to go check that out. But basically what bet spreads are is you take your unit size, and let's say it's $100 or $50. You would make that your level 3 and then break down your unit size by 25%, 10%. It doesn't matter as long as you break it down and use those numbers to create a level 1 and level 2. You would then start at level 1. So for this example, as you can see, we will be starting with $10 units, not $50 units. This way we can survive the downswings if we were to hit some losing sessions. Also, the green numbers you see below each bet will be amounts placed on the green monster, number 0. And an easy way to remember this is just put 10% of your bet down on 0. Okay, now that we know how to play X marks the spot and we have our bet spreads, let's go run a simulation and see how the X marks the spot holds up. All right, here we go. Now, to keep things simple, I will be placing bets on red or black. So, step number 1, take a free spin. Okay, red. Let's go ahead and record that. Our first spin was a red. So we know that we will be betting black on the bottom left corner. So let's take one more free spin before we place our bet on black. Okay, black. I'm gonna record that. And let's go ahead and place our first bet on black. So $1 on 0, $10 on black. Give it a spin. And we win. I'm gonna record that. And since I hit on my first bet on sequence 1, I can go ahead and clear and restart. If I were to miss on sequence 1, I would then have to play both sequences 1 and 2. So let's keep playing, and I'm sure this situation will come up. So let's take another free spin. Okay, red. We have to take another free spin over here. Black. We are now ready to place our bet on sequence 1. Our free spin was red. We are going to bet the opposite. So we're going to place a bet on black. Okay, I'll do $10 on black and $1 on 0. Spin. Okay, red. We lose. Let's record red. So since I lost my first bet on sequence 1, I now have to play a second sequence. We are going to continue betting on sequence 1 when the opportunity comes, which would be right over here in the middle. Okay, so we are going to continue down this column, and once we get to our next bet for sequence 1, we will go ahead and wager on it. But right now we are over here, so we have to take a free spin for sequence 2. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, black. Let's take one more free spin. Red. Okay, we are now ready to bet. Our free spin for sequence 2 was black, so we are going to bet the opposite. We'll place a bet on red, bottom left corner of sequence 2. So let's go ahead and do that. And if we take a look at our bet spreads, our next bet would be $30 while placing a $3 bet on 0. Now, what I like to do is on a loss, I will move 1 to the right, and on a win, I will move 1 to the left on my bet spreads sheet. Okay, so right now we are on $30. So let's do $30 on red and put $3 on 0. Let's give it a spin. Okay, red, we win. So let's record that. Now, we got a hit on sequence 2, which means we can stop playing it. But we can't clear and restart just yet. Why? Because we haven't hit on sequence 1 yet. So we are going to continue playing in order, now on column number 2, until we hit on sequence 1 or complete it. The only difference now is we do not play sequence 2 because we've already hit on sequence 2. Okay, so our next bet on sequence 1 will be the middle bet right over here. So we have to take a free spin since we are up here. Let's go ahead and do that. Red. We are now ready to bet again on sequence 1. What was our free spin? A red. So we know that we are going to bet black. And since I won my last bet of $30, I'm now going to move 1 to the left on a win. So my next bet will be $10. So $10 on black and $1 on 0. Let's give it a spin. Let's try to hit on sequence 1. And we do. Let's record it. We have now hit on both sequence 1 and sequence 2. As you can see, an X did not form on either sequence. Okay, it got interrupted. Since we have hit on both sequences, we can now clear and restart. And there it is. That is how you play the X marks the spot strategy on roulette. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, drop me a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Smash the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Turn on bell notifications. That way you get notified when a brand new video goes live. Check out my website for more strategies. The link is in the description below. Thank you everybody for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Ciao.